I went to the bedroom door to open the door, and I saw this pair of gloved hands coming at me through the door, and this man, I screamed, and a man was on me before I could even react.
I have always said that rape is like unfinished murder. Your soul is murdered, but you have to go on.
On August the 5th, 2005, I was to pick up my daughter Kelsey from her mother's house. I had filed for divorce earlier that year. And to make a long story short, discovered my daughter dead in her home. I'm a father, and I believed that when Kelsey was born, that my responsibility was to be the best father I could be to my daughter. And when that was taken away from me, I questioned my purpose in life.
One day a lady walked in, and she couldn't speak. And so we had to communicate by writing notes back and forth to each other.
I had gone through a terrible divorce. I had been a national sales manager for an electronics firm, and then I'd been a CEO wife, and then I'd been a homeless person for about 2 years.
I know that a lot of times people might get help on the onset whenever things first happen, but there's different layers of healing that take place. Without that, you can just stay settled and become sick mentally, physically, and I'm a single mother of 3 kids, and I can't afford to let that take root. I've got to be healthy for them.
After being married for 25 years, my marriage was falling apart, and losing my house, and I just needed someone to talk to.
Who is the Women's Center? The Women's Center is the 2-year-old sexually abused little boy who walks through our front door with his grandmother. The Women's Center is the victim of a serial rapist. The Women's Center is the mother living with her children in a storage facility, having left an abusive relationship. The Women's Center is the man who's lost his job after 25 years, the only thing he's ever done. All of those people have mustered up the courage to walk through the door and to do the very difficult work to make a better life for themselves and make a better life for their children.
We change people's life. We help people find jobs, continue on after something horrendous has happened to them. We make a huge impact on the community.
The Women's Center is one of the most valuable agencies that we have within our community. Staff within my office are on a daily basis making referrals to the Women's Center, whether that be for grief counseling support or individual therapy counseling, play therapy with counselors.
We get calls when sexual assault victims are attacked. They go to JPS, and we go up there and sit with them throughout the entire process of the exam as they talk with local law enforcement. Without the Women's Center, these victims would probably feel pretty lost.
What we usually end up with is a situation where there's a woman who really needs some help being empowered and understanding that it's not just what someone tells her is going to happen between her and her children, that she can understand the law and that she has rights and duties and obligations to her kids. Her needs are going to be met, the kids' needs are going to be met.
The Women's Center gave me the courage to go get a job and stay in a job when I was scared to death. Without the Women's Center, I would not have had the basics to get back on my feet.
I got the card out that the woman had given me at the hospital and contacted them, and from The first minute I opened the door and walked in, I felt welcomed, I felt embraced, empowered. They immediately got me into group counseling, then individual counseling, and it changed my life.
When I first walked into the Women's Center and I realized that whatever I was going through with, that there was a possibility that I could cope.
They say they saved my life. I hear that a lot. And I think it's true, because the Women's Center deals with serious problems. And if they can help somebody solve that problem, it will save their lives and their family.
They've really shown, just what a professional organization they are by assisting me not only in the grief counseling, but sitting with me in the courtroom during the trial and just checking up on me and making sure that I'm okay. That's what I really need, and that's what all victims really yearn for, is to know that someone's caring about them.
Our community, without the Women's Center, the best way I could describe it would be chaotic. We couldn't provide the excellent service to our victims without the partnership that we have with the Women's Center.
When I was leaving, she hugged me and she says, talking to you help. It gives me the strength to walk out of this hospital and take back my life.
It is one of the organizations that truly makes a difference in people's lives on a daily basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I support the Women's Center in any way that I can, because it gave me myself back and my life back.
It is one of the most positive organizations out there because it empowered so many people and given people the opportunity to say, yes, I can.
The Women's Center is compassion to everyone.
I can't thank the Women's Center staff enough for what they've done for me.
At the core of everything we do is the belief that the resiliency of the human spirit is a miracle. Everybody has the capacity to change their life.